else who's yet to adopt, at least to what's happening, is a Mavoko member of parliament, Patrick Makau. Yesterday he had to be ejected from the House for declining to give up the seat reserved for the minority leader John Mbadi, and he pointed the seat, once John Mbadi came into the House, he pointed him towards the direction of Jubilee and said that's where you should be. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding exactly, and public perception on exactly what the handshake, that Unity Pact truce meant. Whether or not it means that now ODM is part of Jubilee. Do they now cross over and become part of minority? Does it mean that probably there'll be government positions for members of ODM party? Do you have any clarity on this matter? Because yes, members, we may understand probably, but quite a number of people do not understand. Okay, so what did that handshake mean?
You know, people need to, the way I said, people need to accept and move on. But what we have seen yesterday with the member of parliament from Mavoko is immediately after Right Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency the President met, you could see part of the coalition of NASA went to press conference, the other two principals, and actually stated that they were not consulted, and Raila did not tell him that he was meeting the president. So from where we stand, what we saw yesterday was part of coalition that was not happy with the move that Raila did. And for him to come and sit, to claim that he was sitting in the lead of minority party's seat, he meant now that ODM, Raila Odinga comes from ODM, and yesterday ODM had a press conference, they had a PG, and their resolutions were very clear. They want to move on, they want to put aside what has happened for peace and tranquility and reconciliation, for the interest of Kenyans. They want to move on now. And what we saw, it was ODM. It wasn't, there was no Wiper present, there was no Ford Kenya present. So according to me, maybe that is, they were bitter about it. Now they want to claim ODM to move to Jubilee side. But we know ODM is the majority. It is the opposition, majority in numbers.
It is the biggest party.
It is the biggest party in NASA.
Yes.
And they have numbers. So for him to do that, actually he was removed out of the parliament from the chambers. Yes. And it wasn't right. It wasn't right.
Yeah, because whatever happened in Parliament yesterday sends a message to members of the public, because it also fuels the confusion further. Because members of Wiper and someone else from ANC, Beatrice Adagala, had sat on the seat reserved for minority whip, Junet Mohammed, them insisting that no, now that you've done this, it means ODM has joined the majority side, has joined Jubilee. Once members of Parliament do this in the House, so seriously that it gets to a point where a member has to be ejected, members of the public actually get a bit confused, because if my member of parliament understands this to mean that ODM has switched sides, then what am I supposed to do? Exactly. That kind of confusion, it could be also incumbent on NASA or ODM as a party to actually make clear to members of the public. Do you have any level of clarity on this matter?
Now, let me say that Kenyans are normally too fast, and we read too much into small issues. First of all, the fact that there was a handshake between the two leaders does not mean that ODM has now joined the ruling coalition. I mean, the ruling party, that is Jubilee. We have not joined Jubilee. We are not even looking for half mkate, the way they put it. We are not looking for that. What we have always stood for is what we are looking for. That is good governance. What I should urge our colleagues to do is to bite it by the day, I mean slowly by slowly. Let us understand what are the structures that has been put in place. I think the issues to be discussed, those ones already they know for all of us. We know what they discussed. Issues of development, cohesion, uniting the nation. Those are the issues that we want to address. We don't want to, you can even see when the president did his further nominations, I don't see anybody from the NASA coalition here. So that was not part of the agreement. The part of agreement is let us join hands, move forward together as a nation. Let us put our interest behind. I think Raila has put himself behind, for Kenya. He has now we don't even want to talk about the past, but we know what he has gone through 3 times. And that shows if he can still if he can still reach out to the president and say, my brother, let's talk for the sake of Kenya, for the sake of the future of our people. There are so many mistakes going on. You can see the issues we have on even the loans that are running for this country. The lecturers cannot be paid. The doctors, we have issues. So if we want to stick to ourselves and say, I must be the president of this nation, and maybe it is not possible to get it through that way. So it is important that we put let us understand the meaning of this handshake first. Yes. Of understanding that.
And that's the biggest question, because the meaning, what exactly it meant, because prior to that, of course, Jubilee members kept on saying, wale wanataka tu nusu mkate, wanataka nusu mkate. Now the dialogue has finally taken place. We've seen that handshake, but what does it mean? That is the kind of clarity everyone, including Jubilee supporters, are looking for.
What does it mean? It means a peaceful country, a moving forward country. That is what the whole handshake is all about. You see, if you are the father of a bomber where a young maiden is getting married, and you negotiate for the dowry for your daughter, it's not the business of those who come for the negotiations to determine how much you take home as a dowry. The wedding took place. We don't want to know the nitty-gritties of how much dowry was paid. All we want to see is a successful marriage. All we want to see is a moving on forward country.
Are you certain that Kenyans are not interested in how these things will work out?
No, I'm saying we in terms of members of party, especially for Jubilee, we really do not want to know exactly what is it that they were negotiating for or they are discussing. All we want to know, because we do know that our party patron is very serious on positive development. We really are excited that we need to applaud the positive development discussions that are going on between the two principles.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot waste a lot of so much more time discussing the nitty-gritties of who went to shake whose hand and what was it that was discussed on the table. I mean, the able principles are able, and that is why they are our generals. They've been leading us from the front, and therefore whatever decisions that they come up with, it's up to us as members of these parties, respective parties, to follow.
Yes, it appears it's up to the President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, the NASA leader, to give us direction on exactly
and I believe
what that true
means.
And
whatever it is in the interest of all of us. It is in the interest of all Kenyans.
Don't you think it's a bit risky when we leave it to 2 individuals to determine such a big thing? Because other people say probably you should have a legal framework to actually determine how this truce will work out, how this unity pact will work out. Because previously we've seen, like the Grand Coalition government, there has to be a document. I'm not saying this is such a deal, but any such agreement at whatever level, if we just leave it to 2 individuals, don't you think there's a risk involved?
Not leaving it to 2 individuals as such, but there is a committee of 10 people, which is, he put 5 from Jubilee and 5 from NASA. So the team is a team that comprises on all areas of interest. This is the team that now will come up with the actual agreement, what it is, and how we want to actualize it. So I think we are in a hurry to understand what the handshake is all about. For me, I think we should give it time.
Give it time.
Even the rest of NASA leaders, they should be patient and wait and see what is in this whole deal.
What will come out of it.
And remember, these are the key political players. And this Raila and His Excellency the President comes with constituents, comes with people behind. So it's not, we're not saying it's only 2 of them to decide for the country. But even the document they signed, they told us soon they're going to launch that office. And there is 2 people that were appointed. So let us wait and see.
Let us wait and see. So it's a matter of wait and see what exactly will happen, what exactly will come out of this truce, out of the Unity Pact, out of that handshake that happened last Friday. Let's take a break. When we come back, we discuss a very interesting headline that was discussed at length In Parliament yesterday, MPs revealed their targets of nude photos and phone scams. Male MPs say they have received photos from strangers as females talk of being seduced online. That story is so big, it features on the front page of the Daily Nation as well. It will be interesting to get the feeling and the opinions of my panelists this morning. Our breakfast continues.